Hey, y'all. Hey, happy Monday. Welcome to another moment back with your girl, Mojo. I hope everybody's week is off to a good start. I know mine is because I am here with y'all. It's been a few weeks since I've last joined or asked you to join a Monday moment, but I'm back. Your girl is back. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for blessing me with your presence. If y'all don't know, I do this each and every Monday. I ask y'all to have a moment with me, your girl, Mojo, and I help you or we help each other find our mojo. And if you don't know what finding your mojo is, it's just another way to show up in this beautiful thing we call life as your true, authentic self and whatever it is that you're doing. So I kind of like to refer to this as a lifestyle show because in our life, we deal with all bunch of different sorts of things and we are all different sorts of different people. So how we show up is different and it looks different for each and every one of us. So come on here and join me. Let's find our mojos. We're going to start the hour off right with a little cocktail because that's what I like to do, because most of the conversations that I know of that are held well are with a little cocktail. Hi, Tiger. Hi, Mommy. Thank y'all for joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today's topic, if you don't know, I didn't get a chance to do an official flyer, but today's topic I thought would be timely if we talk about the new amendment in the Voters' Rights Act. I was thinking of things that were hot topics and what was floating in my mind and what's been going on in the World Wide Web and in the news. So I felt like the Voting Rights Act was very relevant. So y'all will notice today I'll keep popping up my phone because I want to make sure I get the facts right. I say it right. I might not get it right, but I'm going to do my best to do that. So I just want to make sure I get the facts right. But before we start our Monday moment, well, we have started our Monday moment. But before we start our topic of conversation for our Monday moment, I'm going to go ahead and start us off with a little happy hour. I'm going to make today a tequila based drink because you might not know this. You might not have heard, but tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo. So, in celebration of that, I'm not making a margarita, but I'm going to make a tequila based drink. I've recently discovered this kind of tequila. It's called La Gritona. I like the bottle, really. That's what made me pick it up. But it actually happens to taste good as well. So this is my base. I have a lovely little glass here that's already ready. I think this is a low ball with some ice, pre-prepared with some ice. I'm going to put some, I already have some ice in my pretty rose-colored shaker. I'm going to put just a couple shots of Miss Tequila in here. Now, I hope I can open this bottle without breaking my nail because I had little problems opening it, but I did that today. All right, look at me. I'm driving now. So, yes, like I said, I'm going to do a couple shots of Miss Tequila. 2 ounces, if I'm being precise with the measurements, 2 ounces. And my little shaker that already has some ice in it. Then just because I want a little sweet taste to it, I'm going to just do just a little bit of peach nectar. So I'm going to make sure I shake her up good so that it's evenly distributed. I would say just like an ounce of that. That's all you need. So you don't want it too sweet. You just want a little dab of do you. I'm going to shake her up in my shaker. And after I do that, I'm going to pour her over some ice with just a little ginger beer because I like a little fizz. And also, I'm going to do a little squeeze of lemon because it just, goes with the whole almost Cinco de Mayo vibe. So I squeeze just a little bit of lemon, a little fresh lemon in there because for some reason I have an abundance of lemons at the house. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. So I'm going to shake her up just so. Yes, yes. And then I'm going to go ahead and pour her over my ice. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. That's a pretty color. That's a Cinco de Mayo spring color, I think. Yes, indeed. And then I'm going to do just a little bit of ginger beer, just because I like a little fizz, a little buzzle. A little buzzle, a little bubble. That's what I was trying to say. Hey, Chef Tori. Thanks for joining. So I just put just a little splash of ginger beer over there because that's my favorite fizzle these days is the ginger beer. And I also like a little garnishment. So I'm going to go ahead and plop a little lemon in there. So cheers, y'all. Happy Monday. Thanks for joining me for another Monday moment. This is right on time. It tastes right on time. It is right on time. And so are y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the topic. Today's conversation or topic is I just wanted to have a little discussion about the Voters' Rights Act. I never know whether I should say Voting Right Act or the Voters' Rights Act, but we all voting. I hope we are all voting. And the Voters' Rights Act is a part of the Constitution. So, as recently as last Wednesday, I believe it was, they made a new amendment to Section 2, I believe. I'm doing this from my head, but I will refer back to my notes. And basically, the disruption, the unrest is because they voted 6-3 that it's basically okay. Now, I'm trying to put this in Maisha terms, so you all feel free to jump in and correct me wherever necessary. But basically, they've decided that it's no longer against the rules to remap out districts where you vote based on your race, which leads to me a total disruption of all the things we fought for and the civil rights movement, all of the reasons our people, our ancestors, our family, our relatives, the people that came before us died. I was listening to a professor from, what was it, Princeton today, and he was just talking about how upset he was because of the new rules involving the Voting Rights Act and how it's just taken us so far back from where we thought we've come from. And he was just saying how it's just such an obvious point that racism does exist. And then no matter how many times people try to act like it doesn't exist, like this is definitely a pure example of it not existing. So I'm just going to read a quick little note of an article I read today on the World Wide Web and what it basically meant, and then some of the liberals' opinions of what it's going to mean for us and just voters going forward and kind of where it stemmed from. So basically, like I mentioned, the Supreme Court narrowed a key provision of the Voting Rights Act on a 6-3 ruling on Wednesday, which has a big impact on a landmark of the civil rights era. For decades, Section 2 was a provision that broadly outlawed discrimination in voting on the basis of race. It has been interpreted to allow and sometimes demand the use of race-conscious data in redistricting to protect the voting power of minorities. So I'm not going to read you the whole article in its entirety, but for me, it was like a red light, had to stop, read it 500 million times again. Like, wait, does that mean that basically they're doing away with the laws that used to prohibit us discriminating against, skewing voters, depending on minorities or Black people in general, since that's who I feel like it's hitting the most now. This ruling came up because of two districts in Louisiana, is from what I read. It was called Louisiana versus Callis, Callais, that raises questions that the state's map, which currently has two majority black districts, will be in place for this year's midterms. And basically, it just means that they can start splitting those districts up so that the minorities don't have as much power. So I mean, when this guy was talking, the professor I was mentioning earlier, you could just see all over his face, you could hear in his voice inflection how upsetting it is to me, it should be to all of us, because like I mentioned earlier, many people have died for their rights to vote, trying to vote, attempting to go vote. So I mean, I know with all the disruption we've had as of late, the wars, the way crime is going up, the way that people are being treated, how ICE is treating people, all of these things, and now like it just keeps coming. Like it's not getting any better; it's getting worse. So this is just proof, or more, a shocking reality to me about how bad it's really going to get, and like what else? What else? So if anybody else wants to chime in, let me know how you're feeling about it. If you heard about it, if you even realized that this was a ruling that took place last week, if you have been affected or you can tell the differences that have happened. I can say I also quoted, well, it's not a direct quote, but one of the things the president said in response to this was that um, he really likes this ruling. He couldn't be more proud of this ruling. So it was again another confirmation of who our leader is. And very, I mean, disappointing isn't even a strong enough word. So it just makes me sad that this is the state we're in. And like, what else? What else is gonna happen if we're almost like, if we're almost doing away with the rights to vote? So hey, Christopher, thanks for joining. Hi, Liver Every Moment K. So if y'all don't know, you're just joining. Today's topic is just the Voting Rights Act and how they're how they last Wednesday made an amendment to the Voting Rights Act. So it basically says that they can discriminate, or they can map out different the maps in your city or your district depending on race. It used to be, they have revised it, I would like believe, in 1985. Hey, Leverage Everything. That it was deemed illegal to redistrict or redraw the voting map lines in your district due to race, if it's racially motivated. And now they've done away with that rule. So now, basically, you can redraw the district lines however you see fit without being held accountable. So it's just, and the vote was 6-3, so it was a majority ruling. So it's just, the conversation today is just like, what is the U.S. coming to? What happened to the democracy that we've been fighting for in the civil rights area? What happened to the Reconstruction? What happened to cases like Dred Scott and even recently, some of the abortion rights? Like, oh my goodness, what's happening? Hi, Deborah Dorfman. So I just wanted to get some of you all's opinions and weigh in on what you all are thinking and how you feel about it. Or do you think there's some hope? What are some things we can do to help resolve some of these issues, to make sure that our votes, that our voice, that equality still exists, like it's still a thing? It just makes me feel in general that we're going like 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. So I just really hope we can all come together. I think even when the dismay we've been feeling as of late, and some of the sadness and the inequality that's going on, I've also noticed in the same note that there's been some great communities happening too, in lieu of all of the unfair things, if you will, that have been happening. I've also noticed that some communities, some people, some more groups have been gathering more as a community to support one another and see what it is that we could do to change some of these things. So I think too, I mean, some of my own opinions, y'all feel free to chime in. Y'all not talking a lot today, but feel free to chime in the chat. What are some of your thoughts on what we can do to change this? How you feeling about the climate now? But since I have the floor, I'll just say some of my own comments. I'll just say that I feel like we have to do some. I know back in the day, everybody used to say grassroots, but I just think we have to gather together in our community, go to some of our city council meetings. Like, I think it happens before votes like the presidency, right? You got to do some things in your local district, your local city councils, your local senators. Just figure out, what are some of the things we can do. Identify first, I think, too, a big part of it is acknowledging that clearly racism is still existing, unfortunately. Acknowledging it, seeing where that does happen, and figuring out what we can do to organize and keep our rights and do something about it, and not just complain. That's just my little 2 cents. That's how I feel about it. Now I realize it's a little delay from Instagram and from YouTube, which I'm on both. So pardon me if you notice a little pause, but I do want to give you all time to comment, say how you're feeling, say how your thoughts. Have y'all even heard about that this new Voting Rights Act has passed? How you feeling? Yes, I do agree with you too. I agree with you. We take the right to vote for granted until it's taken away. And to me, I just think about all of our family members, our people that came before us that fought for this right, and how much leeway they made, and how it could be taken away from us so quickly. It almost seems like to me, and so in such a bad way, and just move on. Like, okay, we've done that. Now what? I don't like it. I don't like it. And it seems as of late, that's the way a lot of things have been going, like backwards instead of forward. So I really hope this isn't the new US, the new us. I feel like democracy is supposed to be a thing. So We gotta keep that going in the right direction, not in the opposite one. And I hope it's more people that are getting upset about what's going on, because I know I said it already, but we can't say this enough. Like, this was 1965 when the Voting Act was passed, and then when Reagan came on, when it was revised, and now here we are in 2026, and we're going the opposite direction. So what in the world? The idea is to remove our ability to influence change by numbers and influence. Exactly. Very well said. Probably what I was trying to say. But yes, it's like definitely a shaking my head emoji, for sure, for sure. Yes, we have to use our economic power to make statements. Yes, we have to use our voices, our economic power, our, I was going to say physical power. That sounds more violent, but I mean just our ability to speak out and recognize that it is a problem and that we don't have to stand for it. Yes, to influence change, for sure, for sure. Thank you for chiming in there. Does anybody else have any comments? Because, I know I have the floor, but do feel free to holler at your girl. I welcome all of the comments. They mentioned in the article, too, that there were 3 liberals, of course, who were against this movement, if you will, and this amendment being passed. But it also made me think of like abortion rights now, how we were also going the other way in terms of abortions. And me and a few family members were talking the other day about abortion rights and how they're going away, and how, that could increase people either trying to, back in the day, you've heard all of the terrible stories about people trying to do abortions on themselves, basically like home remedies for abortions, or not being able to get to another state or having to go to another state to get abortions. It just feels so wrong and so unfair and so cruel, if I'm being quite honest. So and more, this isn't the only thing or recent current event that has felt like it's been taking us back to the ways of old, which I thought that we've come so far from. And it's sad to see, and that it's being applauded even, that these things are happening. So yeah, shaking my head over here. I'm over here shaking my head on this Monday moment. So thank y'all for joining to listen to my little spiel. And please feel free to tell me what you think about it. Feel free to chime in the chat. While I'm taking sort of not a pause, but while I'm giving you all time to reflect or respond or comment or ask a question, I do want to mention that each and every Monday I do this Monday moment thing with all of you. I ask you to join Mondays at 8 p.m. EST. I'm definitely looking for some more topics. I'm trying to take discuss or talk about, have topic discussions with people with relevant issues, is what I'm trying to say. Relevant issues that go all across the gamut, but just definitely things you all are interested in. So if there's things that you want to discuss that I haven't yet, or that I had talked about and you want to revisit, please feel free to DM me, email me, maisha.johnson@gmail.com. My DM, well, you already know my DM because you're on my live. So definitely hit me up. Let me know who you think are some good people that I might want to talk to and interview. I usually do interview people on Mondays, but if I don't have someone to interview, then you're just stuck with dear old me, which I hope is okay sometimes, some of the time. But yes, definitely tell me what topics you want. I've talked about everything from professionalism to finding a job to health and wellness. I know May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I've talked about healthy eating. I've talked about fitness. I've talked to some people about, I've talked to some authors that as recently as a couple weeks ago. So please feel free to reach out to me if there's some topics you want to discuss. If there's some people you feel like I should interview, I am open to all of the things. So I just want to put that little plug in. And if you missed any of the past interviews that I've had on Monday, do find me at YouTube at FYM with Maisha, or on Instagram, as most of you all are here, at MOJO295. Just holler at your girl. Tell me what you want to talk about. Tell me who you want to talk about. Tell me who you want me to talk to. I'm open to all of the things. So y'all, I can't thank y'all enough for joining. I won't keep you too long. So if nobody else has anything to say about my topic of today, I will let you have your evening back, but do please chime in. If you think of something to say after this happened, do feel free to comment on the post. I'm here for all of the things. Chris says, I debated with someone about the lesser of two evils thing, meaning they don't vote. So it's interesting you say that, because I've also been looking at a lot of posts about people not voting. Like somebody else is going to do it anyway. They're going to vote who they want to vote for anyway. And they don't even realize how many people, or maybe they do realize and they just don't care. But I can tell you that I don't understand how they could just decide to not use their right that they have to vote. It also makes me think of how they're banning books because they don't want us to know things, or try to keep it away from us as much as they can, which is another right, a right to read and learn and know and educate ourselves. So if you all haven't heard about this Voting Rights Act amendment, I hope you all look into it, read about it now, and find out and make sure that you all are voting and recognize how important it is. Because I sure think it is. Yeah, the elections are coming down to single digits in some places. Exactly. So just think about the single people or the certain individuals who are deciding not to vote, and how much at the end they can make an impact. And again, I think it's important to start small. Even for the presidential election, vote for your governors, your senators, your city hall elected officials, your congressmen. Do the things. And the presidents and the vice presidents and all of the things. But definitely pay attention, see what's going on, see what the word is, so that you're making educated decisions on your votes as well. Hey, Sharon, thanks for joining. So like I said, you all, I'm not going to hold you too long because I know how Mondays can be. I know it was hard for me to crawl up out of that bed this morning, but I'm so happy to be with y'all here now. I won't keep you long, but thank you for letting me get on my soapbox a little bit just to talk about the Voting Rights Act and what it means for us and what it will mean for us if we don't get up out there and vote and make our voices heard. And when we don't agree with what's going on, influence some change. Excuse me, because it's a very importante. Now, like I mentioned earlier, please chime in if you have a question, a comment, a concern. And please also hit me up if there's other topics that you want to discuss, other people you think I should discuss them with, or just things you want me to say or talk about when I'm live with you all. I'm here for all of the things. I go through this Monday Moment thing, 8 p.m. EST, up till about mid-June. Then I break for the summer, and I'm back hot and fresh out the kitchen after Labor Day with some new people and some new topics. So please hit me up. Let me know what we should be talking about. All right. I'm going to pause for a little while just in case, I know, like I said, the Instagram and YouTube response time is a little delayed. So I want to make sure I'm not cutting off and y'all about to say something. But today's topic, Voting Rights Act and other civil upsets that we've noticed as of late. If y'all have any comments, please holla at your girl. Put them in the chat. I'm going to get a little sip. Give y'all a little time. All right, y'all. That's all I have to say about that. I will say that my mango, I didn't even label my drink tonight, but it was tequila based with a little mango puree, nectar, if you will, and a little ginger beer with a squeeze of lemon. I will say that this is also tasty. So anyway, y'all, I hope you have a fantabulous week. I hope to see y'all back here again next Monday with me about another way to find your mojo. It's always a pleasure chit-chatting with you all and seeing what comments y'all have on the scroll. So listen, have a good night, have a good week, and I will see you all, I hope, and even more of you all next Monday. Take care. Peace.